With the release of its new film, I have decided today I am going to rank the VHS franchise. Before starting this project, I had only seen 3 of the VHS films, and that was 1, 99, and 85. I have now seen all 7. I'm not doing any of the offshoots. Let's get into it. Number 7. Starting us out at the very bottom, and to no one's surprise, is VHS Viral. This film does have some interesting concepts. It does have parts of it that I enjoy, but overall, it is just feels so much more amateur than the rest of them. And most of these films are done by amateur filmmakers. And maybe they were trying to go for a more, since it was viral, it was supposed to be talking about doing viral videos for the internet, that they made them feel like they were more amateur. I don't know. The magic segment at the beginning was pretty fun. The parallel universe was probably the best of the bunch in this. Outside of the actual segments, whenever you're dealing with the person that is responsible for showing us these different segments, and him chasing the ice cream truck around, I was like, okay, maybe it's kind of good, but then there are just, there's like a guy that falls off a bridge that immediately looks like a dummy when it's falling, and it just looks awful. This is just feels so poorly made compared to all the rest of the movies. Number 6. All right, coming up next is the original VHS. It's not in this placement because the segments aren't well made. It's not in this placement because of it being really bad in any way. It's in this place because it's just a little too grapey for me. And almost every segment of this film is like that. It's really kind of ridiculous. I get that sex sells, and there's just an abundance of titties, and I feel like it's really unnecessary. It just kind of, it throws me off whenever they do that kind of crap. And the segments are okay. They're not just fantastic, but that the first one that they based the movie Siren on, that one is actually a really well made segment. It just y'all are ridiculous. And also, even the very beginning of the movie, when those guys are videotaping and before they even get to the house with all the VHS tapes, they just run up to a random girl and pull her shirt up and start groping her. And it's not for me, man. Number 5. Next up, we have VHS 99. VHS 99 is the point at which I actually enjoy most of the segments in the film. And there's nothing that I hate. Now, there are ones that are just kind of boring, but nothing that I hate. So that's why I ended up here, but there's nothing in 99 that I just absolutely love. I'm sorry. The only part that I love about this is the stop motion points where it's not part of the segments, and the kids playing with the army men. Like, I love that part. The first segment is just boring and just very kind of mundane. The second segment with the sorority is probably the best one. There's one other one that's pretty decent, and it's the next one, Ozzy's Dungeon. That one is really good. These aren't standouts compared to some of the segments in movies that I have ranked higher, in my opinion. The final segment on 99, To Hell and Back, is pretty decent. The director for that, he also made Deadstream, which was one of my favorite movies the year that it came out. I think that was 2022, but I absolutely love that movie. And this segment was okay. It wasn't anything special. Number 4. Next we have VHS 85. The only reason that this one is ranked higher than 99 is because of two parts, and that's the No Wake, where the people at the lake. I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything, but the lake segment, and then the continuation of that segment, I absolutely love that. And then the dream sequence where the dreams get recorded onto videotapes, absolutely love that. The other ones I could live without. It's not, I didn't think that they were necessarily bad. Well, the Techno God one is not great. I don't really like that one. It was really just those two. That's the only reason why it's higher than 99. I think overall 99 has just a more solid foundation to it. There's nothing inherently bad about any of its segments, but 85 doesn't have as good overall, but it has more standout segments to it. Number 3. Next up, we have VHS 94. Now we're getting to the point where I pretty much love every segment of these movies. From this number 3 position up to the number 1 position, I basically like every segment of all 3 movies. I don't love every segment of all 3 movies, but I like every segment of all 3 movies. So from the storm drain segment to the funeral home segment, the segment where the dude turns somebody into a cyborg, and then a really crazy take on a vampire story, and then the main overarching part that brings it all together, the SWAT team, like all of it culminates into just a really good movie. And I like every segment of this movie. My favorite probably being the funeral home segment. I absolutely love that. Number 2. All right, and up next in our number 2 spot is VHS 2. I love almost every part of this movie. The last segment with the alien abduction is probably my least favorite, but I do still like it. I love the zombie one. I love the cyborg guy that can see ghosts. And then you have the death cult. Yeah, it's just absolutely love all of that. And then the part where it brings it all together, where you have the private investigator going into the house. That part is likable. It's good. It's not amazing, but I absolutely love those 3 segments of this movie. They're fantastic. Number 1. And at the number 1 spot is the new movie, and it's not because of recency bias. It is because it is so damn good. It is so damn good. It had me, I was shocked at how good this movie was, because most of these found footage movies I'm just really not the biggest fan of. And I'm not even a sci-fi fan, a sci-fi horror fan. That's as far as subgenres go, that's on the lower part of my list. I absolutely loved every moment of this movie. It is by far the best VHS film. The only segment of it that I felt wasn't quite up to par with the rest of it was the dog one. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But it was okay. It was good. It would just it just felt different than the rest of them. But the plane scene with the invasion force was so good. You just have this really high octane movie, and then all of a sudden at the end, you just have this really slow burn, like existential, crazy segment that makes you really think about it. and it was really, really good. I absolutely love this movie. I'm excited now to see. Over the past few years, I've just been like, new VHS movie, new VHS movie. I don't know, but now I'm actually excited to see what they bring with the next one. If it's still going to continue to be a yearly release franchise, I'm actually excited about it now. I don't know. We'll have to see. But with all that being said, I have decided, because even trying to rank these movies was difficult because of the segments themselves being so diverse and apart from each other, that it doesn't completely do the movies justice to rank just the movies. So I'm going to probably spend the next week making a new list and ranking every segment from all 7 movies, so that way we know what is the best. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, please subscribe. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you next time.